Hi, in this video, we will talk about JSON schema. So as part of this, we will discuss about what is JSON schema, what is the purpose of JSON schema, and how to validate JSON schema, all these things we will discuss. So first, we'll see what is JSON schema. Okay. So JSON schema is like a blueprint. It's like a blueprint for defining the structure and rules of JSON documents. Okay. So JSON schema is like a blueprint for defining the structure and rules. Means how you can define your JSON document and how you can define some rules to create that document. Okay. If you talk about an example, so consider a JSON schema. Consider a JSON schema that describes the structure of a person's information. Okay? A person's information. Okay. So JSON schema is describing the structure of a person's information, how it looks like. Okay. JSON, normal JSON we know, right? So inside the JSON, we need to mention type, colon, object, and you're taking one object, and then what are the properties of, okay, and again you need to mention inside that I have a name. Okay, that name is what kind of data type? Name, the type of name is string. Okay, it has a name that is of type string, and I have a age, and what is the type you need to mention? Colon, what is that? Integer. And then you have email. What is the type of email? Type is string, and it has a format. Which format it should be? Email format. String means you can give anything, right? But I'm not like, I don't need like that. I need that should be in the form of email. And there are some required properties. Okay, what are those required here? Those required things are name, comma, age. Name, comma, age. So very, very simple JSON schema. It has three properties only, right? Name, age, email. Okay. So if you talk about this one, what about this schema will tell you? The schema defines that a person object must have name, that is string, and age, that is integer, and then optionally an email, a string in email format. So this is how it will describe about your JSON. So what kind of information you need to put in that, and what type of data type that is, and sometimes what is the length of this name, what is the size of this a means, from which number to which number it has to accept age. Okay, those kind of properties also we can define, but this is just an example. Okay, so then what is the purpose? Okay, what is the purpose of JSON schema? Okay, what is the purpose of JSON schema? So JSON schema acts as a contract, comma, ensuring that JSON data conforms to predefined rules. Okay, I cannot create my JSON files how I want. Okay, so we have some rules. We need some rules to define that. Otherwise, there is no meaning of creating a JSON. Okay, so if you talk about example, we'll use with the previous schema. Okay, with previous schema, if someone sends data like, how they'll send the data? So again, name, I can say Tom. Okay, and then age, I can say 30. Okay, and then next one is we need to take email. So tom@gmail.com, something like that. Okay, so with the help of this schema, what type of JSON you are creating? We are creating this JSON, and age is integer. I cannot give string here. So that is a rule, right? That we need to follow while you generating the JSON. Okay, so it conforms to the schema since it includes what it includes: name and age, and email is optional. You can give, you may not. This is not mandatory. If you are not giving also, that's fine. But these are mandatory. Without these, you cannot create JSON document. Okay, JSON. Okay, and what it will do? It helps maintain data integrity and consistency by enforcing rules of JSON data. Right. So consistency means how many times you can create your JSON. You need to create the same way. Okay. So because we have these kind of rules already defined, because of these rules, you cannot deviate from this. You can create same kind of JSON. Okay. And if you talk about an example for this, if someone send invalid data like, okay, if someone send invalid data like, how it will be? The name is there, Jerry, and age I am mentioning 25. Okay, so age is 25, but I have given in the form of string, so it violates the rules. What it happens here? It violates the schema, the rules, since age should be an integer. So it enforcing consistency in data types. Okay, consistency in data types. You cannot deviate from that schema. I need to give 25 in the form of this way, but not this way. Okay, this is invalid data. Okay, so usefulness of JSON schema. Okay, so what is the use? So if you talk about this usefulness of JSON schema, JSON schema enables automatic validation. Automatic validation of JSON data against, what is that? Predefined rules. Okay. So if we talk about one example, when receiving, okay, when receiving JSON data from a client, you can automatically validate it against the schema to ensure it meets the expected structure and constraints. Okay, expected structure and constraints. That is one of the usefulness, and it improves interoperability. Okay, it improves interoperability by providing a standard format for JSON data. For JSON data exchange. Okay, if you talk at an example here, different systems can agree on a common JSON schema. Okay, for data exchange. Two different systems are agreeing to exchange the data in the form of JSON, and that JSON should be in the form of what is the predefined rules we mentioned in the JSON schema. Okay, exchange and ensuring compatibility, and seamless communication between them. Okay, so we agreed upon age should be in the form of integer. You cannot send like this, other system may not understand. So because of that, we need to stick to the JSON schema. Then other system will easily understand what kind of information you are sending, whether that is correct or not. Okay, JSON schema enhances, so it enhances development by serving as a blueprint. Okay, serving as a blueprint for designing. Okay, so it's serving as a blueprint for designing JSON APIs. Okay, JSON APIs and data models. Okay, so without this JSON schema, what kind of JSON you will build? So for example, in a project, more than one developer is working. Okay, so at that time, if he is creating an API, if you want to generate that JSON, what rules he will follow? One developer will follow some rules, and another developer follows some other rules. Then that is not the way to define a API, right? So because of that, if you have a rules predefined, that schema, everybody will follow the same thing. Okay. So if you talk about an example here, when designing an API, defining JSON schema upfront helps in clarifying data requirements and facilitates smoother development and integration. Okay, so it helps us to clarifying data requirements and facilitates smoother development and integration. Okay, so it can be used in various contexts. Okay, so including API documentation, and web application data validation and data interchange formats. Okay, we can easily you can be it can be used in various contexts, like you can create an API documentation and you can validate the web application data and you can interchange the data between the systems. If you talk about an example, including JSON schema in API documentation helps developers understand the expected format of your request and response payloads. That is what we're discussing, right? Everybody should follow the same rules, reducing ambiguity and errors. Okay, so these are all the usefulness of following the JSON schema. Okay, in simple terms, when you're creating a JSON, so what kind of information you need to mention in that, and each value, what kind of data type it should be. Name should be string, age should be integer. If you want to put in string, that is fine, but you need to define the same thing while you're defining the age. If you mention here string, then you need to follow that. Okay, but you need to define those in the form of JSON schema. Then you need to stick to that. Okay. So this is all about JSON schema and what is the purpose, what is the usefulness of JSON schema. Okay. So, and then how can you create a, I mean, is that possible to create a JSON schema from our end? That is possible. There are some online websites are there. So if you talk about those things, so here I'm mentioning that information. So JSON schema generator is there. JSON schema validators are there. JSON formatters are there. Sometimes JSON will comes in the form of some not in this what you say, like it comes in the form of string. So that time you can format that information. Okay. So so we have seen that fake JSON fake store API, right? If you come here, if you want to perform something, get all products. Okay. If you take this and if you perform that operation here, so sometimes it looks beautiful like this, means you can understand, but sometimes it will not come like this. So that time you can use request response that in it seems. So here list users. So here also it is coming properly. But if it is not coming, then you can put that information inside the JSON formatter. Okay. JSON formatter dot org. Okay. In the left side, if you provide this information, it will format. If you remove this formation or formatting all these things, so if you change something like this also, Control A, Control X, Control V, even then also it will show the data properly. Okay. And one more is JSON schema generator. Okay. If you go to JSON schema generator, okay, you see that in the left side you have a sample JSON and right side you have a JSON schema. Okay, you have user ID, title, and completed. User ID is integer, ID is integer, title is string, completed is Boolean. So for this is how the schema looks like. Some schema rules will be there. So you take object. In the properties, what are the properties? You have user ID. User ID type is, this is number. Okay, number. ID type is number again. Title type is string. Completed type is boolean. And in this, the required fields are, everything is, all the properties are required. This is how you can create. So if you are confident enough about your information, so this is a sample JSON object. So if you come here and remove and put yours, you see that this is generated, this JSON schema with the help of your sample JSON data. But in real time, you will prepare this JSON schema first, and according to these rules, you will create this. Okay. So here ID, title, price is number again. Okay. So you see rating. Inside the rating, you have type object. Again, some more properties are there. What are those? Rate and count. And again, rate is number and count is also number. This is how you can create your JSON schema with the help of your sample JSON data. Okay. So, and one more is JSON schema validator. Okay. JSON schema validator, reverse of this. Okay. So here, what you need to do, you need to provide JSON schema. Okay. Let me take this. And here I'm mentioning the schema. Okay. So according to that, I'll put some JSON data. Then it will tell whether the JSON data is formatted correctly or not. You see document coming in the green color, it is following. The count is integer as per the JSON schema. Okay. This count type is number. I'll change it to string. You see that? Rating dot count. This rating dot count should be number value 120. Okay, should be number. But I have given what? String. So because of that, this is not following this JSON schema. Because of that, I'm getting some error. So if I change again back to the number, you see that green color following. This is how you can validate your JSON schema with the help of these websites. Transform.tools/JSON to JSON schema, and schema validator is JSON schema lint.com. JSON formatter is jsonformatter.org. And there are a number of websites like this. You can search in Google, but these things I felt a bit easy and understandable, so I took. So if you search in Google, you will get more tools, more websites. Then you can do whatever you like. But this is all about what is JSON schema, what is the purpose of JSON schema, and the usefulness of JSON schema, and where you can generate, means with the help of whatever data you have, means JSON data you have, from that you can generate the JSON schema. And with the help of JSON schema, you can validate the data which you got is the respecting that JSON schema or not. Okay. So this is all about JSON schema. So that's all in this video. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for interesting updates. Thank you.